you. Great job. Fantastic job. The name brands that Michelle represented, I think, are also a dramatic shift from just a year ago. Titletown Tech, association with Microsoft, the Packers. There have been a number of different organizations that have come around innovation that are new. So if you don't feel it yet, you'll feel it soon. This kind of rumble of innovation. But you're also going to see a continuing orientation, I think, even within the innovation market for talent. Because no amount of money, no amount of brick and mortar, no amount of really cool stuff is going to move very far without really, really focusing on the talent dimension that drives that. So we've heard a ton today and seen a lot of really good samples of some really good work that's being done, again, by many of you in this room. One element that is still challenging for both businesses and educators is how to network all of this stuff. So this past year, we worked with the WDDC to secure a regional Inspire license. Inspire is a web-based platform that connects kids, educators, and businesses. That's its primary function. The intent here is really to network all of these really great programs that we've been listening to or learning about all day to the companies that are in the room around a mutual interest in advancing academic career planning for students and teachers. The next slide is next slide. This is a graphic view of the current marketplace, and I'll do a little bit of an explanation here. All of the boundary lines you can see are roughly 221 school districts in the New North region. Currently, we have 3 operating deployments or organizations that are taking this platform and interpreting it both for the educators and for the businesses in their market. So the green space is all of the school districts that are currently covered by Inspire platform deployments. The red section in the middle is actually managed by another platform called Your Future, which is hosted by the Fox Cities Chamber. The blue is uncovered. There isn't anybody serving any of those school districts. So you can see, by this legend, you can see that there's a whole host of activity going on, even within the attempt to try to coordinate and connect companies. Inspire, on the top, that Inspire is actually a CISA. Inspire Door County is an economic development organization that is hosting that deployment. Inspire Sheboygan is actually an outgrowth of the Chamber of Commerce. So networking the platform was really our first assignment. We completed that this last year. We have a plan going forward to how to fill in those blue shades that are up on the screen. The marketplace, if you want to put it into other dimensions or user dimensions, that's 220,000 students, or 190,000 students, 68,000 employers. So if you can imagine a future where all of those employers are connected in some real genuine way to the student population within the school districts, we will have arrived. This is another, sort of to Michelle's presentation, this is another demonstration around technology entering the world of trying to connect our workforce initiatives with employers, the ultimate receiver of the product that we're all trying to develop. Those don't necessarily, and this is again Michelle's point, those tools, those technology elements don't necessarily make it so. It really requires companies, schools, parents to be very, very, very aware of how to make this pathway work. So again, I would just echo Michelle's a point about getting involved and getting engaged. This is definitely not a spectator sport. And I'll also go back to Jamie's presentation. Just being concerned about what's coming is not going to change that future. So these are efforts, initiatives by New North, by other folks that are really intended to try to make this systemic so that we can get at real outcomes and real output for the response to disruptive future. This particular project is also a really good demonstration of a classic New North initiative with extensive partners including workforce development boards, CISAs, chambers, economic development organizations, working to scale up a unique networking tool with critical delivery network at a locally charged level. This still has some way to go. This is brand new for us. This still has some way to go, but it has the right drivers and a really strong collaborative framework to meet the challenges of a comprehensive regional deployment network. Look for more as we move into 2019. This is our final sample video coming up. This is the third of three, so I finally got myself coordinated there on where we were in the march. This one is specifically focused on education and training.
Those are some great examples of the progress and we've seen in this past year in education and training. It is very, very cool. Now we'd like to take some time to thank our key contributors today to this and to the New North organization. We wouldn't be here without you. But first I'd like to have a special thanks to Governor-elect Evers, who is making time in his busy schedule to be here for us today. That was very kind of him.
Absolutely. Yeah, please. All right. You guys have been so patient. You're waiting for that cake. I know it. It's close. We're getting close. I actually had a couple of guys pull me aside out in the hallway during a break and say, you know, you've been pumping that cake really hard. It better be really good. I said, I hope so. It's from a nice, good local bakery, a member of the New North here in town, Manderfield, so I'm looking forward to it. We do have to thank some key sponsors who do make this possible. So particularly want to note our keynote sponsors for today's event, Insight, Coalesce, Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, and Stellar Blue. Please give them a round of applause.
We have our partnering sponsors, Nation Consulting and St. Norbert College.
In the affiliate category, Associated Bank, Green Bay Packers, Northeast Wisconsin Technical College, the Bolt Company, ISG, BMO Harris, Woodward Communications, Oshkosh, and Schreiber.
We also have a number of other sponsors on the screen that we'd like to acknowledge and make sure that we recognize their contributions to the event and to the organization as well. And last but certainly not least, we want to thank our investors. So our platinum level investor, Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, deserves a huge round of applause.
Our champion investors in New North is Microsoft, Associated Bank, WPS, and Bolt.
Leadership investors, Bemis, Schneider, and Thrivent Financial. Thank you all.
As well as our visionary investors, the Green Bay Packers, Oshkosh, Myron, Werner Electric Supply, and Kimberly-Clark.
Last but certainly not least, and this event is not over, so we have a lunch and we have some breakout sessions. You got to make sure you stick around.
Cocktail reception.
Cocktail reception. Didn't want
Vicky's
to forget
buying.
the most. But this is a huge event to put together, and we've had an incredible team working on it. So I'd like to recognize our production team, many of whom are sitting in the back of the room. Or
If you'll all just turn around and look at the people at the table back there.
So these are the
and
folks
clap
from
at them.
Coalesce. Amazing Events, Stellar Blue Technology, and Nation Consulting. And we also have two great volunteers, Amanda Secor from Community First and Carla Reed from Associated Bank. Those folks stayed late last night. They make sure this all comes together for you, so thank you all for your efforts.
Thank
We really
you.
appreciate it.
As I think Vicki said or Bill said, I'm just standing here. Next, we're going to move into the lunch networking opportunity. So I believe that the arrangement is the food is lined up out in the corridor. So grab your food, come back to your table here, and I'm going to still challenge you to maybe move your stuff to another table and sit with strangers who you can possibly meet and fill in the obligation to have met 3 new people. The closing reception will follow the breakouts. The breakouts we've gone through a couple of times, but so the artificial intelligence session is going to be in the room right on the other side of that wall. The panel for the afternoon is if you take the escalator up the stairs and hang a left, there's a conference room right there, so you'll be able to participate in that one if you choose. I think that that's kind of the drill. I want to make sure that when you see the folks from BMO Harris, St. Norbert College, thank them for lunch. That would be really appropriate. And if you have any of that cake that Bill keeps talking about, thank Bill and Associated Bank for that. But that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the morning program. Look forward to seeing you at the afternoon breakouts.
Thank you.
Thank you.